Hello, my name is Bryony, and for years I've been helping parents make the most of play and everyday routines with their children to support their speech, language and communication development. And within this, so often the question comes up of how to catch your child's attention. And ultimately beneath that, the question we're really asking is, what is your child interested in? How can we make the most of the things that they are naturally motivated to communicate about? And how can we build on that over time to create these fun, low pressure opportunities for your child to learn from you and to practice new skills? Enter snack time. So often food is a motivator for all of us, truthfully, and we can use snack time as this opportunity to practice early communication goals. In fact, meal times are a fantastic excuse to support conversation and communication skills across the age ranges. Today we're focusing on those really early communicators that are just learning their first few words, learning how to make simple requests. I'm going to give you some specific suggestions, the kind of things to bear in mind if you're looking to use snack time as an opportunity to support your child's communication. Now, at the moment, I'm doing all of my therapy online, and one of the surprising benefits of this is being able to join so many family snack times. Because children aren't coming to see me in clinic, I'm much more often able to visit them at their kitchen counter on a tablet and have a peer at what a child is interested in eating and how they communicate during their snack time, and then give a parent some ideas to build on those interests and really focus on some communication goals within that. My first suggestion is to prepare. The more time that you spend getting everything that you need together, the more you can focus during snack time on your really kind of close, attentive communication time with your child, rather than having to dash up because you forgot things. So have everything with you, if at all possible. For my pretend snack time today, I've got pretzels and an apple. And we'll think about, depending on the kind of snack that you've chosen, there's a few different ways that we want to approach it to make the most of that communication. I've chosen an apple because often children like their apple cut up, and that might be most feasible for them, whatever stage they're at. And so you might want to choose whether you have your apple like this, so that chopping up the apple is part of the thing that captivates your child's interest. Years and years ago, when I worked within a school for children with additional complex needs, snack time was a full lesson. We absolutely made the most of it, and we would share, pass around the fruit as a whole item and smell it. Oh, this one smells good. And think about all the descriptive vocab and then the action words we would use for preparing it, whether we were scooping or chopping or spooning or mixing. So if your child's at that stage, then maybe having the apple like this, you might have like a fantastically captive audience for some really nice language modeling as you get it ready and chop it into slices. However, your child might not be that patient or attentive for that kind of long drawn out presentation. So you might want to have your apple chopped up in advance, because ultimately what we are aiming for is having lots of small, rationed, kind of small little pieces so that your child can request things many times. Second suggestion is to offer choices. I know this is something that us speechies are regularly suggesting, offering choices, and there's a reason for that. It's incredibly useful, but also there are some specific ways that you can make sure that offering choices really does support their language development. I made a whole video on this subject, so I'll link it somewhere here. But for now, the main thing is to pick just two options and to hold them up and offer them, naming the things. So you want to say, do you want apple or pretzels? Apple, pretzels. You don't want to say, do you want this or that? Or which one do you want? Because you're using that kind of offering of a choice as an excuse to name the item as you highlight it for your child. Apple or pretzels? Once your child has made the choice, you want to affirm that choice by naming it again. So say they pick the apple, you can say, oh, apple. They might choose it by just pointing or reaching for it, and you can say, apple, yum, apple. So you've got that excuse to affirm their choice and name the item many more times. You're not expecting them to name it in order to get it. So we're not creating a kind of test scenario. We're really just making the most of your child's attention for super fun, interesting stuff like snack, and you modeling it. So you can see while I'm doing this, I've got the item right by my mouth, right by my face, so the child can see as I'm modeling it. So I might say, oh, you want apple? apple. Apple. So I'm going to chop mine up. And this leads me on to my third suggestion, which is to ration the snack. So rather than make a nice full bowl with all of the apple chunks in it, maybe just put 1 or 2 apple chunks in the bowl and then hand it over. And then you've still got the rest of the apple that you're just kind of holding on to. So whilst your child is happily eating the apple, as soon as they've finished, then they might reach for this one. So that's your opportunity to model again. Oh, more apple. So by rationing, you've created many more times where you can tell your child this cool thing, this is called an apple. More apple. Or you might just want to teach them the word more. And so you can say, oh, more. So the key thing here is timing, and this is why I suggested that preparation is really useful, because if you have all your stuff around you, you can be there, ready, attentive for the moment when your child reaches for the thing. And as they're reaching, you're giving communication to that. So what if your child is strongly used to the delight of watching you empty the entire bag of crisps into their bowl? How do you start rationing if they're going to kick up a big fuss about wanting the full load? Well, what you can do is kind of reduce it over time. So you can maybe just hold the bottom of the crisp bag and pour in, oh, like, it looks like almost all of them, but I'm secretly holding a few more in the bottom of the bag there. So when your child finishes their bowl of crisps, then you can say, oh, hey, more crisps. And then it's just like a bonus extra rather than them having the sense that you've denied them from the beginning. And then over time, you might kind of reduce the amount, the number of things that you put in the bowl, so that you're really building in that excuse to ask for more pretzels, more apple, whatever your snack of choice is. Here's another problem that has come up in conversations with parents on coaching sessions is, what if your child has like an apple fruit pot or a yogurt? This is actually just an empty spice pot, but they really like having the jar itself. They want the whole thing. One of the things that I practiced with a mum recently was just kind of edging the pot away from the child. So we really don't want your child to become distressed. You know, food can be a very emotive subject, and we don't want them to worry that they're not going to get it, which is why it's so important to not withhold and say more before I give it to you. We're really just kind of creating more excuses to model. And the way that we did this with the yogurt pot was, as the child was busy exploring the full spoonful of applesauce that they had, you can kind of just pull it back ever so slightly, so that when your child reaches for it, you've got that excuse to go, oh, more. Now, these are some open invitations for you if you're looking to find a communication practice time that is motivating for your child, and sometimes snack is a really good way of doing that. But also, just to be real, if snack time is an opportunity for you to catch up on the washing up or do something else while your child is quietly munching away on a snack and getting some important fuel inside them, then that's fine too. This is just some suggestions if you're looking to make snack time this communication activity. You know, everything is always about finding what works for you as a family, for your marvelous, unique kiddo. So maybe try out some of these ideas and let me know how it goes in the comments below, because every one of these tiny steps that you try out with your child is a step in the right direction, and you are doing fantastically. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'll be back here real soon, and I'll see you then.